Hey guys, so for this assignment, I'm going to talk about ethics and empathy and digital health in digital literacy. So, the lesson goal is for middle schoolers to learn and identify some of the negative impacts that digital media can have on them and kind of how to move past them and learn from them and not let it affect them. And then also have learners be able to understand the importance of keeping a clean image online. So the objectives are, after completing this lesson, learners will be able to identify and understand why digital media can create body image issues, understand the importance of acting in a responsible and appropriate manner online, identify cyberbullying and know how to handle themselves in that situation, understanding the importance of a healthy screen time, and they'll learn how they can achieve that. So just a little recap on the survey that I did. Like I said, I was focusing on ethics and empathy and digital health, which are two touch points from the reading that we did, like the second week on digital literacy. And those were the two areas that scored the lowest on my survey, so I figured it'd be good to, start this teaching earlier rather than later. So the first topic is digital media and self-image. So digital or social media can be used to create an image that isn't always portraying the truth in someone's life, and that can be hard to understand. Since we're older, we can kind of grasp that concept more, but for younger kids, I think it's really hard for them to kind of distinguish between what's real and what's fake. So kind of talking about that and showing some examples, and then also talking about kind of the lack of diversity that can be seen on social platforms, especially with online games and creating avatars. There can be a lack of selection for body types, gender, hair color, skin color, whatever it may be. And then talking about how media can influence different gender standards and gender norms and can kind of set some unrealistic beauty standards. And it's not always showcasing the variety of however you want to identify gender-wise and sex-wise. That isn't always going to be portrayed. So it can be confusing for some young kids. They're kind of navigating that time of their life. And then also going over editing and photo manipulation, such as Photoshop, different kinds of filters, retouching apps, and making sure these students know that photos can be edited to make someone look taller, thinner, have clearer skin, have smoother skin, like that, these models that they're seeing online, or even like influencers and celebrities, that their photos are definitely touched up. It's not realistic, and that they shouldn't be trying to achieve these body standards because it's just not going to be healthy for them. So the next topic is how to conduct yourself online. So that kind of goes over managing your emotions, and with that you can kind of manage conflict. So we want to let them know that you should probably cool down when you're in a heated moment with an argument with someone or you see something you don't like. Think before you post, because once you post it, even if you delete it, it could be out there. Someone could screenshot it, someone could see it. So you just want to really think about what you're going to post and why you're posting it. Is it going to benefit you? And then if it's something with like a friend or a colleague or someone at school, trying to talk face to face if possible. And so kind of going with thinking before you post with issues online and talking face to face is the differences between communicating online and offline. When you're communicating online, a lot of the verbal and visual cues that you can receive when talking to someone face to face get lost just because you aren't able to pick up on their body language, their facial expressions, their tones and their voices. So that's something important to note, that if someone says something online and you are offended by it, to really think about if that was actually the way they meant it to come across to you. And then talking about the written and unwritten rules of online. So following the same rules you'd follow in the real world when you're talking with someone and acting towards people and treating people It's going to be the same online. You're not going to want to be outwardly mean to someone in person, for the most part, at least I hope not. So you're not going to want to be trashing people online. And then just being aware of your digital footprint. Who's going to be seeing your profiles? What are they going to be seeing? Like I said, think before you post, think before you share, same thing, and just think about your reputation, and what you're putting out there is really portraying who you are, even if you don't mean it to be that way. That's how it's going to be perceived from other people. So you just really need to be careful what you're posting online, because it can come back and haunt you years down the road. You'll be seeing all these YouTubers that, said stuff when they first started out years and years ago. And it's all coming back and haunting them now, and they're having to deal with the repercussions of, saying some inappropriate things and just not being the smartest. So next we have cyberbullying, and I want to get across to these learners how to recognize it, what to do if it happens to you, and its impact of cyberbullying. So it can be kind of classified as trolling, harassment, and drama. So trolling can just be like nitpicking and like little annoyances here and there, like pranking people. Harassment can be straight up negative comments and like verbally abusing someone online and like threatening them. And drama can just be like the bickering back and forth, the Twitter beef you see sometimes between people. So I kind of went over the subtopics of cyberbullying, and the forms it can come in is sharing private information such as like photos of you or personal text messages that you didn't want to get out, spreading rumors, impersonating someone. So that could be someone making an account with someone's name and photos on it and pretending to be them and saying embarrassing and false things about them, or posting negative comments and having them be directed towards a specific person. So if it happens to you, you're going to want to save all the evidence. The best thing to do is to not fight back right away, just because it can stir up some other things. I know it's not fair if that happens to you, but it's just best to take a step back, talk to someone. It's okay to go talk to your parents. That's probably the best place to start out, and then from there they can help you figure out if you should go talk to someone at the school or what's the best way to handle that. And just remember that it's not your fault. That if someone wants to be rude to you online, that's going to be their own issue. You don't deserve that. So just don't let that weigh on you. And its impact is sometimes greater than typical bullying, just because it's online and it can reach a much wider audience and it's there forever. And it can cause low self-esteem, psychological symptoms. You can actually feel physically ill and have pains, and some behavioral issues if you act out, if you're not dealing with the emotions properly. It can impact school and your personal life. So now we're going to talk about the importance of balance. So especially for middle schoolers and kids, they have a tough time making sure they're not being online too much, and that they're still, seeing their friends, putting the right time into school, and just not spending all their time online. So it'd be good to kind of look at your active time, such as playing outside with friends, sports, offline games, puzzles, hanging out with your family, and your learning time, like reading, homework, school, and then kind of pulling those together and seeing how that looks compared to your time online. So social media, online shopping, games, anything that you're on a screen for, and just kind of acknowledging what's going on. And if there's a problem, recognizing that and seeing how you can fix it. Because if you're spending too much time online, not only are you missing out on fun things going on around you with friends and family, can actually lead to obesity due to the lack of exercise and physical activity. You can get, physical pain in your joints, eyes, back. It can lead to behavioral issues due to the messages that it can be sending. And you can get sleep issues just because of the way you're training your body, such as if you're going on your phone before bed every night, you're not letting your brain calm down, shut down, so it's always going to be wired. So some things to improve this would be limit your screen time on the weekends, treat screen time as a reward, and turn your phone off at night. And then these are my sources, and that's my lesson.